an hour for this is not long enough. It's really not. There's so much, and I'm going to try to, part of the reason I gave you such a big handout is because I'm going to plow through a lot of things. And I'm just hoping we have enough time to answer some questions and stuff. So I'm just going to go and, Mark, if you got a pen, I didn't have extra pens or anything, but if you got a pen or something, actually there's a basket here. Mark some questions you have as we go, or highlight things or whatever. If you need a pen, let me know. And I can be passing around and see if anybody wants one. And then I'm going to try to make some time for questions at the end. But yeah, I'm just going to try to make sure we have enough time. So let's get going. Real quick disclaimer on what I'm presenting.
Sorry.
That's fine, I'm just starting. So the disclaimer is that, all this stuff that I'm going to talk about is not necessary. None of it is something you have to have, okay? This is all stuff that is helpful, especially generational, with coming in with younger kids and everything, and the younger generations coming up are getting really involved in a lot of these things, and that's why it's helpful. But you can be the hands and feet of Christ and not do this. Okay, so just remember that. Don't be too overwhelmed. This is not like this is the required things you have to do. Okay, and there's so many things to mention that I had to narrow it down. Like I said, this is not a long enough time to be able to talk about everything. So you probably have even heard of some other things that I won't mention, and that's fine. And we can talk more about that later if you want or something. But I had to narrow it down to some things that I thought were probably most effective. So. And then it's also, this presentation is geared toward churches who don't have a lot of money and don't have a lot of ability. Because if you're a larger church and you have the ability to maybe even have a tech person, you probably don't need to be in here necessarily because you've got somebody who can do that. So this is geared toward people who have like little to no budget towards this. Okay, and that's the whole point of the thing. And I'm also not talking about any hardware. So I'm assuming a little bit that maybe you have a computer. If you're going to do some of these things, you have to have a camera. And so I'm kind of bypassing hardware right now, talking mostly the nitty-gritty on software stuff, okay? And then also there's no perfect system or anything out there. This is all just, it's going to be completely up to what your church makeup looks like, the audience that you kind of have, and the effort and everything that you can put forth into it is kind of how the success is going to go, okay? There's no perfect formula. And then if you're going to do any of these things, really take into consideration that you should be very serious about it. Because if you do it halfway, it's worse than not doing it at all, okay? So if you're going to do any of these things, make sure that you go all in, okay? And maybe because of that, maybe you just do one thing at the beginning, and you don't take on maybe 20 of these things or something and try to do them all at once. But let's get going. So the first thing we're going to talk about is social media. And social media is a really big thing right now because everybody has Facebook. We've probably heard people talk about this already. Everyone has Facebook, there's Twitter, this is Pinterest, YouTube, Vimeo, and Google+. These are like the big dogs in the realm of social media. Okay, so Facebook, and all this is on your thing, so you can make notes and highlight and everything too. But Facebook, one of the things to keep in mind is that you really should have a Facebook page. It's the biggest social media thing out there. It's free. It's easy to do. It's very straightforward. Now, there's lots of instructional things out there that you can look at. Use Google like crazy. If you have a question, Google it, okay? Because Google can, just about every question that's been asked has been asked, and you can find answers for it, okay? So use Google like crazy, but you can find out how to do a Facebook page. But you want to make sure that you create your own church Facebook page, because you want people to be able to like it, and you don't want it to be as though it is a person, okay? You want it to be a page. So if you need help with that, you guys have my information on there too, so you can always email me and ask me questions. Yeah.
What's the difference between a page and a group?
Okay, I'll get to that too. But when you create a page, you want to make sure that you're updating constantly. You're adding photos. You're making it something that is people are looking forward to look at, because that's the whole point of social media, is that people are looking at things and constantly liking and sharing and commenting, and you want it to be an interactive thing. So you want your Facebook page that if you're going to do it, you want to make sure that you have somebody who is constantly updating and commenting and using it, okay? Because you want it to be our church's Facebook page. I'm really trying to make it to be something that people who aren't even in the church want to look at, because we talk about, every time someone, there's a car wreck or someone dies or something in the news happens, I post it on our Facebook page and I say we're praying for this family and we're interacting with the community, and that in some ways can actually reach out further because everyone has friends. When somebody who likes your page comments or likes that post, their friends will see that as well. And so as you're interacting, it's just a way, it's kind of like free advertising for your church. But it also lets the community know that you care and that you are involved. So all these things are really, really good. And allow people, there's an option where you can allow people to not post on your Facebook wall, but you want that to happen because you want there to be conversations and things going on. And then a group. Now the difference between a page and a group is kind of like thinking about an institution versus like a small group or something. A page is something that's official, that the page can actually do posts. A group is something where everyone can kind of talk and gather. Groups are really good for the small group kind of things, or prayer groups, or maybe even elders can have their own Facebook group, or deacons, or whatever you have in terms of groups. You can create those things, and it allows for a spot for conversation where other people can't necessarily see it, which can be good because you can have closed groups and you can have those conversations without everyone else seeing it.
This can be off of that page?
Groups can be done, you don't even have to have a Facebook page for your church, you can just create groups anywhere. Groups can be created by anyone, anywhere, anytime. So, okay, yeah.
And just, I'm trying to interrupt the names, but
Okay.
I know Facebook, we are Facebook's product, like their stuff, so I don't know if there's any, if I get into Facebook, I want to try to provide my congregation some wisdom on how to, not everything we put on there is, so if you have a group, and you're posting confidential stuff.
Correct. I don't want to deceive you. Right. You do not want to be putting anything that's. What I meant by no one can see it is that it's not a conversation where you exchange. You're not exchanging personal information. You're not exchanging, social security numbers and things like that. That's not what I meant. What I meant was that you can have conversations about things where it's.
Only the people in the group can see it.
Right. Yeah, only people in the group can see. It's not. I don't want to deceive and say it's confidential. You're right. I should mention that. That it's not. If you're going to have those kind of conversations, they shouldn't happen on social media. Facebook deletes nothing. No matter what you do, Facebook keeps it forever. So just remember that. Okay. Even if you delete your Facebook account, it doesn't really get deleted. They keep. If you look at the disclaimer, they keep everything. So Facebook can be a great tool, but it can be an enemy too, so you have to be careful. So just think of social media stuff is more of like common conversation kind of stuff. It's not confidential stuff that you would ever share. The nice thing about social media is that it can be shareable and lots of people can see things and what's going on. Yes?
Okay, so like on my personal page, I get a lot of reposts of things like 5 and 6 times. Is there any way on my official church page to not have, do I just not follow those people?
Your church page doesn't follow people.
Okay.
So you don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
It's only what people post. And you, as an administrator, the person who starts the page, can delete and remove posts and things like that. Okay, but I got to move on because we're going to run out of time. Twitter. I'm going to plow through Twitter a little bit because Twitter is much more simple than Facebook, and I don't even really use Twitter anyway. But Twitter can be a great tool, but it's a little different than Facebook. It's more like just like someone yelling on a microphone out on the street corner, and people can just hear what you're saying. Okay. But you have to also remember that Twitter, lots of other people can see Twitter, not just people who are like following you or friends with you. People can see that a little bit better than Facebook. So if you're going to use Twitter, you do want to get your own account for the church, and just remember that lots of people are going to see it, not just your church people and stuff. And so what you say matters. And obviously you can't say things that are too long anyway because there's only a certain amount of characters you can use on a tweet. But use hashtags, and actually you can use hashtags with Facebook as well. Hashtags I really don't like them actually, but they can be useful because people can actually look up a hashtag and see all the comments that have been hashtagged with that hashtag. So if you know, like for our church, Burley First Christian Church, if we use hashtag Burley FCC, then anytime anyone posts anything and they hashtag Burley FCC, people just look that hashtag up and they can see all the comments that have been hashtagged that, which can be useful and beneficial, but not necessary. So, okay, I'm going to plow through that. Pinterest is actually kind of a neat thing as well. What's cool about Pinterest is Pinterest is a little bit less used than something like Facebook and Twitter. But Pinterest can be neat more for people who are like wanting to look up fundraiser ideas and plan different kinds of events and things. You can create your own church account and you can have pin boards where you can post lots of different things and ideas. It's a little different than Facebook and Twitter. You don't put ideas out there as much as you do collect. But you can put ideas out there. But it's great for looking at fundraising ideas and games and even advertising ideas. Or I mean, the lists are endless on things you can do with Pinterest. But you also have to make sure that you're aware that it's a public newsfeed, so anyone and everyone can see it. It's not just people who like your board or anything like that. But Pinterest is not probably as important as something like Facebook or something if you wanted to really get involved in some of these things. Pinterest is just a tool that can be used well for those kind of things. YouTube and Vimeo, and the reason I put these on social media is because you can comment and do things with these. But you definitely want to, and I'm going to talk more about YouTube and Vimeo as we go on more, but if you have the ability to upload videos, upload videos. You know, people can, there are something like, I think it was 700 billion video views in 2010 on YouTube. 700 billion people watched videos, or at least there's 700 billion watches. So YouTube can be an amazing thing. You guys have probably all heard about YouTube, all probably have seen YouTube videos. It's well known, used a lot, people know about it. Vimeo is another tool that you can use, very similar to Facebook, or I mean to YouTube, but it's less well known. But Vimeo can be a little nicer because you can actually use a paid account and get rid of ads and all those kinds of things. So it's a tool, but not as well known as YouTube. You want to say something?
Well, my question is, if people from a congregation, you know, if they want to view a YouTube or video, do they have to download?
You don't have to download anything.
Okay.
I mean, there is it downloads a cache and there's some sort of download, but it doesn't really download anything. The nice thing about YouTube is you can create, if you create a Google account for your church, like we have burleyfcc@gmail.com. You automatically get a YouTube account as well. You can create a YouTube page with your church. You can create playlists. So let's say you have videos that aren't even yours, that you know of, that you like, and you want people to be able to see. You know, maybe it's
Sermon illustrations.
yeah, sermon illustrations, or there's some great ones out there that I'd love to be able to show you. Yeah, you can create playlists, music, all kinds of stuff. People can go to your site and watch these things. It can be a good tool, especially for small groups and things like that too. And I'll share more about that in a second too. Google Plus, right now Google Plus doesn't allow corporate accounts, so you can't create a church page on Google Plus, but I am willing to bet that very, very, very soon they're going to be able to do that. And Google Plus is exploding in the social media side. They have these things called circles, and maybe you guys have some of that already going on. Maybe you're a little familiar with what I'm talking about, but it has the potential. It's not quite there, but it has the potential to be something that can be really great social media wise. And it's a Google thing, so it's very, very interconnected with things like YouTube and other things that Google owns and uses and operates. So it's all very interconnected. So Google Plus can be something that can be really great in the future, and that you can sort of start to utilize.
How can you get into that? I have people saying, you know, wanting me to join Google Plus, and I don't know anything about it, and so I haven't messed with it. But if I wanted to go in to see what's going on, how
do you have a Gmail account?
Yes.
Okay. Well, when you log into your Gmail account, you can. I have to kind of show you, but there's a way you can add people with your circles, and and start creating that.
I
It's
just
not.
wondered how you open it up. I mean, like you put in Google.
You basically you have a profile, but if you go to your email address, you can click on the top right. So this is why we don't have enough time for this.
Okay,
It's okay.
I'll show you one later.
okay.
Okay.
When you get back to church, I'll show
Thank
you.
you.
I am really sorry, guys. I would love to be able to do an example for each one of these because that's really what's needed. But I'm
And if
trying
you
to
have a
just.
new phone, it's one of the things you can just touch a button.
Yeah, you can. There's a Google Plus app on smartphones for both iPhone or Android. So
Ask a teenager.
yeah. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is live streaming and video hosting. Now, I know that sometimes live streaming is like, whoa, you know, big churches do that. We can't do that. I started live streaming with Springfield First Christian Church, and they have, at the time, they had 35 members coming to Sundays.
Wow.
Okay, so you can live stream for free, as long as you have the equipment. You can do it for free. So there are 3 different ways you can do that. Springfield started using Ustream. Okay, Ustream is a website that allows you to do free streaming. It's not the best quality, but it's there. Okay, they have paid upgrade accounts that you can start doing high definition stuff. But you know what? If you're doing free, who cares? You've got the ability to do live video, and it will archive it for you, so people can go back later and watch it. Really great tool, especially for people who maybe are in the military and are away from their congregation, or an elderly person who can't get in to church and wants to be able to watch it. You can do it live, or they can come back later and watch. So these 3 different things. Ustream is the first one that I started using. I don't know that it's the best necessarily, but it's definitely one out there. It can be really great if you pay for it, but then again, you're paying for it. So. But it gives you a free downloadable broadcaster, which can be really great. It allows you to do different inputs and outputs and audio inputs as well. So you can hook it up to your soundboard and have great sound, and not just through the speaker of the, yeah.
What's the minimum amount of equipment to live stream?
Okay, probably a good question. That camera back there can do it, and that's like a $300 camera. The camera that Hood River uses, if you ever look back there at the medium thing, it's just this little tiny thing. It has an HDMI output. That is a $200 camera. Pretty inexpensive for a camera. The other thing you may have to get, like I said, I'm not really, I wish I could go more into hardware, but you can get this thing called the Black Magic box, and it allows you to convert HDMI into a USB, plug it right in as if it's a webcam. Minimum though, you can use just a webcam. I could broadcast off of the webcam on here, okay? You don't have to get anything if you don't want to. You can broadcast off your little webcam on your laptop, or if you've got one of those little USB webcams that at your house, you can just plop it right up and go. Not going to be great quality, but it'll be there. The nice thing about a camera is that you can zoom and do some things with it that will be useful.
Does it have to use the microphone from that, or you just plug it?
Depends on the setup of the camera, but you can plug in a mic to your computer as well. With Ustream, you definitely can. With live stream, I'm not 100% sure on that because I haven't used live stream personally. But they do have a live chat feature, which is cool, archives the video, and there are ads though if you use the free option. So when somebody goes to watch your video, they have to sit through like a 30-second ad first.
Jared, they stopped archiving past 30 days now on the free account.
On the Ustream?
Free, yeah, you got to pay to have longer
well,
than
that's
30-day archive.
pretty new then, I guess. I didn't notice that. Okay, well. The next one is better than that, YouTube. I just recently found out that YouTube supports live streaming now. You do have to have a Google account because you have to do it through what's called Hangouts. And Google has this new thing that they're really, Google's great and annoying in some different ways. But Hangouts allow you to be able to stream live on YouTube. Now, in order to do that, it takes quite a bit of instruction to go through to set that up. You can find that if you Google it. You can find all the instructions to be able to do that. And I can help with that if you need that. I did a test thing that I could show you, but I don't want to take time away yet. But you have the ability to live stream, and Google also has the ability to do live chats. So you can sit there, whoever's if someone's preaching and someone's kind of helping do the live streaming, they can chat with people who are maybe in Ecuador. I don't know. You can chat about what's going on in the thing, which is really great. But you can also schedule live events, so people can actually go to your YouTube channel and see that, oh, there's a live event happening in an hour, and they can have that ready to go. YouTube is widely used. Ustream, people aren't familiar with how it works, how it looks. It's confusing sometimes to look up your account. YouTube, everybody is familiar with it, so it's very easy to find and use and search. And it's not HD quality, but YouTube does have a higher quality feed than Ustream does, and then the free version of Livestream as well. So you can get a little bit better quality look with Ustream, but you can't get as good a quality as Ustream if you pay for it.
So you have to have an account, I guess, to broadcast out.
Yes, you do. But it's free.
Right. Does other people have to have an account to be able to log in? Okay.
You can just go in there and watch it.
And do they archive then?
They do archive it. Now, I don't know the limits on an account, how much video you can have. As far as I know, it's unlimited. People make a living putting YouTube videos up there, and they've got tons and tons of videos. So they do archive it though, and it does it automatically. You don't have to say archive this; it just does it. So it's always up there, and you can download it later if you want, which is great. Live stream, very similar to Ustream. There are actually tons of different companies out there. Like, I'm not going to be able to share them all with you that are similar to Ustream and Livestream. I lean a little bit more toward the YouTube thing because it's so much easier and more sort of user-friendly and very familiar. But you've got the ability to do all these things. The other thing with Livestream and Ustream though is that if you do the paid accounts, you will get a lot of support. You're probably not going to find the same level of support if you do YouTube. However, most of the questions you're going to ask are you can probably find if you Google them. You type in the question, you can probably find your answer. So, but with Livestream, you can probably talk to a live person. Probably most likely though only if you're using the paid account. So keep that in mind. Okay, jumping on, I want to address a couple things about websites real quick because websites are a huge deal. I've talked to people just being here this weekend that have told me that they've looked. Part of the reason that they went to a certain church or whatever is because ahead of time they looked up the website. Okay, websites are becoming really big, especially with smartphones now. If you're traveling in a city, you go to your Google Maps and you just type in like church. First thing that comes up, you can see, oh, what's the service times? One of the biggest detriments is that we don't have. A lot of our churches don't have any of that information online. So just bypass that church. I'm not going to. How do you know when to go if you have nothing posted or nothing on there? So websites are a big deal. Now you're going to find people that are going to say, you don't need a website, which you don't necessarily, but they are extremely, extremely helpful. And there are differences between something like a blog and a website, but I don't think that the differences they don't negate each other. You can have a blog that can work just as well as a website. You can have a website that works just as well as a blog, okay? Now maybe those differences you don't even know, and that's fine. You don't really need to know that they're all that different. I'm going to share with you both things. First, Squarespace is a company that's actually kind of really out there right now, kind of a hip, trendy company. A lot of photographers and artists and all those kinds of people use Squarespace, but you can have any kind of website, anything you want with Squarespace, and they are extremely good about helping you through things. And so Squarespace is kind of a good one to use if you have no idea anything at all. They've got online stuff that you can interact with, and it's really helpful. I don't know if they're the cheapest, but they are a good way to go if you have no idea what you're doing. They have all different kinds of price packages, and there's all different kinds of stuff. You can use them to register a domain, which would be like your website domain, so like earlyfcc.com or something like that. Okay. Wix is actually the company that the region uses for their website. So if you've ever gone to the regional website, you can see what they have done and what they have. Wix allows you to do and host websites for free. Okay. Which is really good, but when you do it in the free way, there's limitations. Okay, when you pay, obviously those limitations go away, and then I think the region pays something like $200 a year for theirs. So it's not extremely expensive, But it's a doable thing. But what's great about Wix, and there's a lot of companies that are kind of coming out right now with this idea that they are making it really, really simple and easy to do it all online. And you don't have to have, in the past you used to have to go buy like a website program to create your HTML and create everything, and then you have to find another place to host it, and then you got to buy your domain. And the website, or there are companies now that are putting it all into one nice, neat little package, which is great for most people. It can be limiting if you really know a lot about HTML and those kind of things, but it's great for most people and most churches, and it'll do more than anything you need. But they do also have paid services, and they are also a really great resource to call and ask and talk to them about stuff. But when you go to create a website, they have kind of a program that it's a platform that you can use, and it's great. You can drag, drop things, and move things around, and very visual, which is what most people need. So it's a great thing that you can use. With Blogspot, our church uses Blogspot as our website, basically. It is a free way to do it as well. The one detriment that I don't like is that you have a blog, ours is burleyfcc.blogspot.com, which is not the end of the world, and you can buy your own domain and you can port forward it so that you don't have to worry about that, but that's the one detriment that I don't like. But the cool thing is that Blogspot is owned by Google. So everything, YouTube, Google+, your Gmail, all that stuff syncs very nicely, which can be very helpful. And if I've got a little bit of time, I'll pull up our website so you can see that it doesn't have to look like what you might traditionally see as a blog. You can do some great things with those kind of things. Presentation tools. This is more toward like your Sunday worship service stuff, okay? There are lots of different presentation tools out there, but still, to this day, about 95% of the presentations out there are done with PowerPoint. Whether that's business, church, anything. PowerPoint owns the market. Now, PowerPoint is also really great, but it can be hard for people who don't know a lot about PowerPoint, okay? I mean, this presentation is PowerPoint. And I could have made it a lot fancier, things can be flying in everywhere, and you can do lots of cool stuff with PowerPoint. But it's also, if you don't know a lot about it, it's kind of hard and it feels limiting. But PowerPoint is probably one of the most versatile ones out there. And it's also broadly used. Most people have an idea of how to use PowerPoint a little bit, especially because in high school and stuff, almost everybody has to use them now. So, your normal teenager or something in your church probably knows how to use PowerPoint.
You can also just play with it and figure out how.
Yeah, there's lots. You can play with a lot of stuff, and you can Google. Like, if you have a question, Google it.
And there's a lot of people that, have templates.
Yeah,
You
there's
can
tons of
just download
templates.
the templates and just plug and play.
Exactly.
And it's easy to do sloppily though. So your presentation here, you said you add a lot of fancy things. That's good because a lot of times you're like, oh look, I can make it flip in.
Yeah.
That's
And
just
it can be
distracting.
annoying. It can be distracting to do some of those things. But I'm just saying that there's a lot of neat things you can do if you take the time to. Some of that stuff's unnecessary. I just made mine very simple and stuff. Prezi. Has anyone ever heard of Prezi? Awesome. Prezi is really neat. I really wish I could show you a Prezi. Prezi is an online presentation platform, okay? It allows you to do awesome stuff like, zooming way into something and zooming way out and looking at, it's crazy what you can do with Prezi. It's an innovative and unique presentation platform that's all online. You can create a Prezi, it's online, and you can have people in different states watch the same presentation at the same time or whenever they want. Really neat stuff. You can add in pretty much anything you want. It's a little bit harder for something like a church service to do a Prezi, but if you're doing some kind of a meeting or a youth group thing or something, Prezi can be really great. I don't know that I would recommend it for during a church service because it just doesn't fit with that kind of thing, but Prezi can be really cool. And you just throw the link up somewhere and they can access it. Throw your link up on Facebook and people can just go right to it
Is
and
it
watch.
free service?
Was that? Oh, it's free. Yes, free. I'm sorry. It is a free thing. I think you can do some paid stuff with it, but it's free. And it's a fun program too, so it does appeal to that younger crowd. But
if you're prone to motion sickness, don't want
yeah, Prezis can be kind of crazy sometimes. again, sometimes it's a little more than you really need. You gotta be careful with what you're really doing. Google Presenter, nice thing about Google Presenter is, again, it's Google, so it's very interactive. You can put it on your Google Drive, you can access, people can access it from anywhere. It's very similar to PowerPoint, and what I understood is you could upload PowerPoint projects to it, and someone told me that they didn't think you could, so I might be wrong on that. But I believe that you can just upload your PowerPoint presentation right onto Google Presentations, and it will work just fine. That's what I've always understood. I actually haven't personally done it, so. But it's nice because you can share the presentations online again. It's all free. It's all very connected with all your other Google stuff, so you don't have to create any new accounts or anything like that. And you can also have multiple editors and authors and things very easily, which is kind of nice sometimes when you're working as a team and you're trying to create something. Proclaim is a software very similar to maybe Media Shout. I don't know what you guys use, if you use anything. Proclaim Church Presenter is a little bit more expensive, I think, than Media Shout, but it's a little nicer too. You can actually do things online, have multiple authors. You could have the pastor and the worship leader all working on the same presentation at the same time from different offices or different cities or whatever. You can have it all happening at the same time because it's an online platform. Which does mean, though, that you have to have internet access and things like that. But you can insert anything from PowerPoint presentations to videos, pictures, online videos, YouTube. You can stream YouTube videos on it, all kinds of stuff.
You know if they have CCLI support?
I'm not 100% sure on that. I was trying to find it, but they do have the Logos software, which can be really great because I don't know any of the pastors in the room if you've ever used that software. It's a really neat and great software to use for study, and you can insert things directly from it into the presentation. Media Shout, I believe, is working on being able to do that, but I'm not sure if they've gotten to that point yet. But Proclaim does. Now, there is no free version of this, though. So there are some costs involved, so you've got to look at that. But it is professional grade. So you're looking at something that's very nice. It's going to be slick, lots of help. You can call in and, they're really good about working with you about stuff.
Can you put the presentation together and then download it?
I don't think so. You mean like put it out there for anyone to download, or what do you mean?
No, for...
to do it offline?
Yeah, so if the pastor did something and the worship leader did something, and then you happen to be having service someplace where you don't have internet access, so you want to be able to download it to your computer and use it there.
I believe you can. I'm not 100% sure on that answer, though, because I've never used the software personally. I just did some research on it so I can share it with you guys, but I believe you can. Because I think they would have to have that option available. Media Shout is kind of like the reverse of that. You don't really use it online. It's not an online platform. It's an in-computer platform. So you actually buy the program, and you don't pay for an access. You pay for the program, and you have it on your computer. So, but it is also a professional grade thing. You do have to pay for it. I think it's like $4.50 for the cheapest thing.
Although it uses it.
Yeah.
So it's nicer.
And it is great. It's perfect for worship services. You can add PowerPoint things and videos and pictures and just text. It has the CCLI license integration. I don't think it has the Logos stuff, but it does have the ability to put different Bibles and stuff in it so that you can pull scripture out. So, I mean, it's a great program, and Springfield Church uses it, I know. A lot of churches use Media Shout. It's a great program and very stable, and it works great. So you can use it offline. You don't have to be online to do it. This next one, Powtoon, is something that is not really geared toward a church service, so to speak, but it's really great for something like a promo video, or maybe like a youth illustration, or an illustration for a sermon. It's good for creating those kind of videos. I actually have an example that I'll show you right after the slide, but it's all online presentations and editing, and everything's the whole platform's online, so you do it online. You can upload it to YouTube, to your website, to Facebook. There's all different kinds of options once you've completed the presentation. It just plays like a video. It's just basically a video that you make. It's not like a presentation like this where you click the next slide. It's just something that plays. So the free version, you know, you got to have the little Powtoon logo on the bottom corner. You can't get rid of that from the free thing. And at the end of it, it says created by Powtoon or something, and it stamps it. So that's not the end of the world. I think you can work around that. If you pay for it, I think it's like $19 a month, which for something like this is pretty hefty. Anyway, but it's a very unique thing because it's very cartoonish, which can be neat. But they've also got some realistic things going on. You'll see an example here in a sec. And they have tons of templates you can just work with. You just pull up the template, you can edit it, and you can also start from a base nothing. Let me show you. Hopefully it'll work here.
Is that mute button on?
Maybe. Let me get over here. There we go. This is just like a little minute-long thing, so I'm just going to let you see it. Oh, you know what? It might not be. Okay. Yeah, for runs. There we go. If it'll play. It's not normally that fuzzy either.
Got your job?
It's a creative using Powtoon. That's what it is, yeah. So this is the free version, obviously. But the neat thing is I uploaded this to YouTube, and I put the YouTube video in my PowerPoint presentation, which you can do. You can also, you know, I mean, there's tons of different things you can do with that. So I just wanted to give you guys an example because that one's more unique than a lot of the other things. But you can see how it's great for like promo videos, or you know, this was what I did there is I actually took what's called the resume template and I just modified it. It took me like 5-10 minutes. It wasn't very long. Really easy and great. And you can see how it can be very entertaining and neat and kind of fun to, especially for youth. It can be a really great tool. So it's a great thing to be able to use. Okay, Roshi. You'll go to the next slide. Come on. Where's my mouse? There it is. Okay. Okay, move on to fundraising and financial stuff real quick. Some of this can be scary because a lot of this is online kind of stuff, so you have to be careful with what you do. I would consult people before you really make big decisions, okay? But there are some neat things that you can do in terms of reaching more people financially and through fundraising. So, now PayPal, you've probably all heard of PayPal, because PayPal is actually a very reliable and safe and secure way to do money transactions. What PayPal will allow you to do is create a church account where you can actually take donations, and people who donate to that can actually get tax write-off. What I have done on our site is I put a PayPal donate button, so anybody who goes to our site and donates on it, they can donate to our church, and they can also use that as a tax write-off, which is great for family and friends who don't live around your church, people in the military, whatever, who are away and just would like to be able to support you in some way. Awesome, awesome tool. And you can attach it to your bank account, but I would definitely recommend creating a different, unique bank account just for your PayPal account, just as a safety precaution, and also to just help keep things separate anyway. So that might take board action. I don't know how you have your thing set up, but it can be a really great thing if you choose to do this. But you can tell people that you're doing a fundraiser or whatever, and you can use that as the way for people to get you funds. Very easy and quick. I I think I'm still trying to figure out if, PayPal typically takes a small percentage of transactions, but I'm trying to figure out if they do that for nonprofits. Because I'm still.
They do, but it's smaller.
Do they? Okay, okay. So keep that in mind as well, maybe. But for the use of it, I think it's probably worth it, especially if you're reaching people that you may not otherwise do so. Another one that is kind of interesting, maybe you've heard of it, Indiegogo. I actually did this when I was in seminary. I found out that, because I switched seminaries and I had to finish paying one in order to graduate with my MDiv. And so I actually did an Indiegogo drive, fundraiser drive, to help come up with some funds so I could finish paying that off. What's neat about Indiegogo is it is internationally known. The entire world uses Indiegogo. And it's actually more popular in other countries than it is in ours. That's probably why you haven't heard of it. But Indiegogo will allow you to create, and it's all free to create it, but they do take a percentage of the monies that are collected, just similar to like PayPal or something. But you can create this page where you give your story, talk about the fundraiser, you can add videos, different things like that. And it actually goes into a cycle. So anybody who goes to Indiegogo can find your fundraiser. So when I did that, I had like 2 or 3 people just donate $1 just because they wanted to, which is really neat. The ability, or the thing that this and the next one that I'll show you give you the ability to reach people who may not otherwise know about you at all. You may have no connection to them at all, and they can donate to your fundraiser or cause. Really cool thing. And that's the power behind something like this, is that they give you that raw exposure to an unlimited amount of people. Kind of scary too, but it's a really neat thing. The other one that you may have heard of is Kickstarter. Kickstarter is one that's more nationally known, but it's smaller than Indiegogo. There's been documentary films and all kinds of stuff that have been funded through Kickstarter already. You probably have even seen some of the movies that have come out of being funded through Kickstarter, independent films. But they also charge a fee, but it's also very safe and secure, similar to Indiegogo, similar to PayPal. They all have very high security behind these things. But it gives you that raw exposure. Random people could find your fundraiser and donate to you, which can be a really neat thing. There are people out there that just look for things to donate to because they get that tax write-off. So they just look for things to donate to. And that can be something that you can draw from. This next one, this just recently happened this last month. Maybe you've heard of it, I don't know. Amazon Smile is now doing a promotion where they will donate to a charity of your choice. So what we did is I went to Amazon Smile and I registered the church as a charitable organization. Okay, you can do that, and then when people go, now you can't buy through just regular Amazon. They have to go to the Amazon Smile website, which is exactly the same as Amazon. It's just kind of like their side thing, so that they can direct those funds accordingly. But they put in the charity of their choice, so Early First Christian Church or whatever church, Hood River, whatever church you want, and 0.05% of whatever the purchase price is that they ever buy goes directly to your church. Really cool thing for being able to raise some other funds. Yeah. People buy stuff off of Amazon all the time. I buy stuff every once in a while anyway. So why not do this? Why not have this as an option for people to do? And so I actually, when I did it, I shared the link and everything on my Facebook page, so you can go right to it. Facebook's great for being able to share those kinds of things too.
Okay, you need 0.5%.
0.5%. What I say?
Well, 0.05 is 500. I think you need 0.5%.
I don't know.
0.5%.
I guess. Isn't 0.5 0.5%?
Yeah, 0.5 would be 0.5%.
Yeah, so
0.05 would be 500.
500.
Wouldn't even be pennies in most purposes.
Right. But it does, it's better than nothing.
Adds up.
Yeah. So, and if you have a lot of people that love to buy through Amazon a lot, maybe that would add up in time anyway. So, yes, it's not like you're going to get, $2,000 a month out of this, but it is certainly more than you would not get otherwise. So, it's a neat thing, and it's also, obviously their motivation behind it is, hey, you should buy more because we're going to donate to your charity. But if you're already buying stuff anyway, why not go ahead and do it? So
is that the correct percent?
that is the correct percent. Whatever that is, Whether it's hundredths or whatever, that's the correct percent.
So when you go on the Amazon Smile, do you have to create a new Amazon account? Or can you
No, you don't have to create a new account. You just, it should prompt you to do exactly what you need to do. It'll prompt you to go through it. And you can just search I just searched, because I was the first one to do it, I just searched Burley First Christian Church. I actually pulled it up, but it said that it needed to confirm with the church and everything, and so they'll make phone calls and connect and make sure that they're an actual entity. So.
They check you out on the nonprofit database.
Yeah. So, the last thing I was just going to talk about real quick before I show you a few things, hopefully we have time, is just I wanted to reiterate a little bit about the possibilities of Google, because the negative about Google is, they do monitor and kind of sell your usage information. Maybe on Facebook you've noticed that it says like keep calm, I'm a McCool or something. I don't know. They have like all those ads,
Yeah.
for shirts and weird stuff. You're like, how'd they know I was in Hawaii? I don't know. Because they monitor your account. They know where you're at all the time. So whether you use Facebook or any of these things, you can't get around some of that. So keep that in mind. But the cool thing about Google is that everything that Google offers is free. It's all interchangeably connected. I mean, like, it's easy to move from one thing to another and to use multiple things together. So Google can be a really great tool for those kinds of things, and it's all free. Yeah, and you can also Google everything. You got questions, just Google it. People underestimate the ability to Google stuff and to also look up YouTube videos. I can't tell you how many times that I needed to change my EGR valve on my Suburban, so I just Googled it.
Yeah.
And there was a video on it. Perfect, awesome. I just do it. I don't need a mechanic. You do not underestimate the ability to find this information on your own. Okay, you can find step-by-step processes and ability to just do things that you need to do. Okay. Having said all that, whew, okay. I'm sorry, it's a lot of stuff, a lot of information. Let me pull up. This is my favorite. You're going to get a little look into my world here. So I have, here's the church page, if it'll load.
The Amazon Smile is 0.5%.
Yeah, I just looked it up. You need to move your decimal
Is
over.
it 0.5%?
It's 0.5.
Okay, then 0.5%, that's even better. I guess I just copied and pasted, so I thought I got it right.
0.5 penny per
But you
dollar.
added the dollar.
Or 50 cents on something.
Oh, I added a, I see, I added a percentage.
On
I
$100
gotcha,
so it
okay.
sounds like.
So it's actually 5 cents on the dollar?
No, it's a half penny on the dollar, he's right, but it's 0.5.
It's not nothing.
That is a half
But the
penny.
idea is if you
Okay,
have a
well,
lot.
I apologize if I got it wrong.
Just
Yeah.
share
For
the
every
link
$100.
to Amazon Smile for
Okay.
Burley
That's
First
still not
Christian.
bad.
That's not bad.
And then after
Do
you
a lot
find
of
a
shopping
link,
in
you share it.
Amazon.
So
Yeah, 25 cents.
Okay.
Church does a lot of.
order whatever.
So this is our church page. You want, I was talking about updating and making it look as good as possible. Do a cover photo. Do some kind of an actual, wow, I can't think of what it's called. Profile picture, and change that every once in a while. Post pictures of stuff. Look, now. Here's our pictures. It's very slow.
Or because people like me are online.
Get off your phone.
This first one you'll see, it says in living memory of Dakota Twist. She just recently died in our community. So anytime you find things out like that, I post stuff like crazy. You can see pictures of us doing our feeding the homeless. We just put stuff on there all the time. We're just putting things on there, and it's gaining ground. I had one post that like 635 people saw, and you can track all of that when you have your own page. So let me go back to this.
I should have sent you the one last night, Jerry.
What one?
Yes.
Alex.
Yeah, you should have. I can post that. But see here, look, I've already got pictures of our assembly going on here. You can share your own status updates, all kinds of stuff. I put motivational stuff on here all the time too, and there's the actual article on the crash. I just try to. Oh, this is Braden preaching.
He's so.
don't know if I should even show you right
God
now.
is really moving in the young ones today, just amazing.
It's just cute. But I mean, you can do stuff like this, and people can see it and interact with you, and they may be 100,000 miles away from you. He's just,
He's slanging the Holy Spirit.
So anyway, I mean, you got lots of different options and things you can do. I even did, you know, during Holy Week we had devotions every day during the Holy Week thing, and so I just posted them. I had them all printed for everybody, but I also posted them on here so other people can see it. You can see 37 people saw this post, so it tracks how many people have seen it. It can be awesome. Okay, let me pull up real quick our site so that you can. Oops. Okay, this is what our site looks like. It'll load quick. I didn't put last Sunday's sermon on here yet, but we record all the services. I pull out the sermon and I post it on YouTube and link it to our page. So this is actually the blog part of the site, and I use that as basically the videos and things that I want to post on there immediately. And it archives it, so you can go back any long far back you want to go. Yeah.
And that's without using live stream technology
Yeah,
at all.
this is.
You can just
I'm doing this without live streaming right now. We're just recording and posting it later, which is another option you can do.
Are you doing it through like a laptop and stuff then?
Yeah. Well, actually, I just record it onto the hard drive.
Sorry, yeah, it's not live. So,
Yeah. And then I just pull it off, edit it what I want. And actually, I'll show you guys real quick. Right now, I'm editing the first section of yesterday's stuff, and I'm just using right now Movie Maker. It comes free on your PC. Mac has a different version. I think it's called iMovie. You can use all those things free, and you just edit your thing, put it together. And if I go to the home part of this, right up there, you can see Facebook, YouTube. You can just upload it right to it. All really easy, great. I mean, whether you have Mac or PC, there's a free version of something that you can use that comes with it. So I'm using that right now for that. Of course, you can buy crazy programs, but you don't need to. The other thing I want to show you right here, you can see the donate button. Stands right on the first page. This is this takes you right to the regional website. I've got a Facebook page link, contact us link, church calendar. This is another great thing about Google. You can have a Google Calendar with your Gmail account. Pull this up, people can go right to the calendar that you can post on your blog, and it'll load.
So your calendar, you use your Google calendar?
Use the Google Calendar.
Okay.
It's accessible to everybody. As soon as I update it, it changes on here.
Okay.
Well, you can have different, like our pastor can automatically
have multiple
put stuff
calendars
up there, and our
and-
worship committee meets,
Yep.
they put their own junk up on there.
Yeah.
I don't have to, as a secretary,
Sure.
keep all that stuff up.
Well, I mean, the possibilities. I mean, you can compound from this to do lots of different things. This is I'm just basic stuff that you can do, cool stuff. I don't know.
What's your service, youth and what? Youth at 10 o'clock?
Oh, the youth and adult Sunday school.
Oh.
It's just longer.
Okay.
See, when you highlight it, it should pop up a little. Well, there it goes.
Okay.
And then you do the description. and
Does work needs
Yeah. Oh yeah. Really great. The other thing that I did is I actually combined two different blogs, which you can't tell because I just basically made the two blogs the exact same. But when I click on Pastor's Corner, you can see that it actually changes the address up there. It says really FCCPC.blogspot, but it's the same look. And I actually just did that's that Powtoon presentation I showed you guys. And so I have my own blog that looks like it's still part of the same website. And you can do that with as many blogs as you want. I mean, which is kind of a neat thing. Outreach events and activities, we just post little articles about stuff. So anyway, that's that.
And then you just put all your stuff, or you can create your own.
This is a template. I modified it a little bit, but there are templates with. That's another cool thing about Blogspot is it has tons of different templates that are very easy to just use, and they've got tons of what's called gadgets and widgets that you can add to your bar on the side. You've got. Actually, I don't know if I have it on this one, but you can add different information and
Weather maps.
Oh, you can the endless possibilities. You can have a YouTube video playing over there, or a YouTube playlist. You can have a slideshow going. I mean, there's just tons of different things you can do.
And you just have different admins who can
made changes.
That's another cool thing. Thank you. Actually, you can have multiple people edit this instead of having just like one login, and you can have an admin, but you can also have other people that edit it, and so you can assign those people, you know, however you want to do that. Yeah, and Facebook page you can do that as well. So, any other questions?
I have a hardware question.
Okay.
If you were gonna buy a camera, like you talked about that one being like a $300 ballpark, what are some things that you wanna make sure your camera has? Like,
The things that I like to look for are the most optical zoom possible,
okay.
because optical zoom is critical. When you start getting a digital zoom, you start getting really grainy and pixelated. So the best optical zoom possible. I think that one has like 32, which is really good. And then I look for HDMI output, because HDMI output is going to give you the highest quality possible when you're feeding it out. The problem with the HDMI output is that you have to get another piece of hardware in order to get it into your laptop, but it's worth it.
And that was called what again?
It's a Blackmagic. The actual name is Blackmagic is the name of the company, and the box is.
Mini converter.
Yeah, I probably could Google it real quick. Watch this.
Yeah, just Google it, you know. That's
But I got some for like.
Google all lives.
The black.
No, I can't
Well, I think
spell
Anna
it.
just gets on Google.
Intensity shuttle right there. The Blackmagic intensity shuttle. That's it. It'll pull up. That is what you need to just do. It'll input HDMI. It'll input the component or the you know, the AV cables, the red, white, and
Well, that's what
yellow.
So what is storage?
Yeah.
So is that
Storage?
the hard drive?
No, it doesn't. It's all internal in this. You plug it into this, and you also. Oh, that camera has internal storage. You don't need that though. You can get a cheaper camera without internal storage. You just get an SD card. I mean, a 32 gig SD card is like $30.
Yeah.
You can get it really cheap. So don't even worry about internal memory, because it takes more money than you don't need it. You don't need internal memory. Wow, this is really not loading very well. But there you go. Okay, see that little box on the right? That's it. It's $200 about. So here we go.
So that serves as a video card then?
Yes, basically.
Okay.
It's kind of it's a converter kind of too. It's a video card converter sort of. Yes, it takes it from the HDMI into a USB basically.
Okay.
That you need with this particular product, you need a 3.0 USB input. So you need a newer USB input.
Okay. Which you need Windows 7, Windows 8.
Yeah, Windows 7, Windows 8, anything that'll. You're not going to get an older version than that with a 3.0.
Yeah.
USB anyway.
So if you like the technology.
But I mean, you can buy like a $300 computer nowadays that'll have the ability to do that. So it's not, you know, unless you've got a, you know, if you're still using Windows 95, you gotta. You're not going to be able to do much at all. So yeah.
Can I play my 8-tracks on the?
You know, you can buy 8-track players that have USB inputs.
I still got 8-tracks at home, baby.
I want to convert them.
I thought songs just trailed off and then picked up again naturally. I didn't know that.
Any other questions? I really wish I could show you guys more, and I think we're actually over our time.
Yeah, so what?
Nobody's pounding on the door yet.
Oh, okay.
That's
Oh,
true.
we have to move on. Medford, all right.
I'll show you the our YouTube channel.
Okay.
So look, I'm just at YouTube. I
Is that
sign in
Kevin's face you got here?
early. See, it's just early at Gmail, like early at Gmail. And sign in.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's two different ways to do it. And then this is what it looks like when you first log in. You can go on this. This is your, you know, your kind of your menu bar, and you're gonna go to my channel because that's just a general. My channel, your specific. I haven't added a channel art yet, which I really need to do. We have all these videos here. That's the resume that I showed you guys. This is the test, the live feed test that I did just a week ago. And if I click on it, I mean, it's just like 3 or 4 minutes of me messing with stuff, trying to figure it out. But you can see that it's just coming off of this camera. And it was live streaming when I did it, but it automatically archived it. And then this, you know, YouTube allows you the ability to share things.
So can you link that archive to your website?
You can share right here. Say that again.